Hey guys, Magic here, and it's time for a little bit different of a video, although you know at this point, my channel covers everything. Everything from deck techs to opinion pieces to podcasts to news. Oh, and of course, the cooking segments. But seriously though, if you're attempting to gain some sort of cooking knowledge and improve your cooking abilities by watching my cooking segments, you might want to reassess the whole direction your life's going. On a related note, let's talk about Magic the Gathering. Whoops, crash that segue. Here is something that you may not have noticed because it's just basic human psychology. People do not notice the lack of something as much as they notice the something. I'm sure that's word for word how it's written in the psychology textbooks. But let's compare Magic the Gathering to Pokemon TCG. So I'm sure you've seen these around at your local gaming store, unless it's exclusively Magic. I've heard of that being a thing, but anyway, they're up on the walls usually. They're the big, sparkly, shiny Pokemon. I totally don't know what they're called. I know they're not Elite Trainer packs. Those are basically fat packs, but they're the like $19.99 MSRP, I think, mega whatever packs. So we'll say it's Mega Gyarados. Okay, so you got 4 boosters in there. They are not randomized, not like those Walmart ones. They are the same boosters between them, but the boosters are randomized, like the cards in them. So it's not a pre-made deck. And then in the middle, whoever's featured on it, like Mega Gyarados, you get a Mega Gyarados figurine on like a little base. And that's cool as hell because they're really tiny. They look amazing, very top quality. I mean, they could be a little bit better. They're not amazing. They're not like, like... I don't know what to compare them to. It's just I've seen better miniatures, but they're quite good. So they're not an amazing value, and the funny thing is they're a static price, even though some are clearly worth more than others because they include older boosters. But people like them just for the figures, honestly. They're not just like, oh, look, 4 boosters that I could have bought loose at my LGS. Why would I buy this? It's literally more money. It's because you get the little figure. And plus, I think there's usually like a giant card in there. You know, that's kind of collectible and looks pretty awesome. And Magic has done giant cards before, but Magic has never done miniature figures as far as I know. I've seen some and I'm like, whoa, where'd you get that? It was from the board game. And those were not very well made, by the way. By the way, Magic has a board game. So they have been kind of spreading out in past years into other things, but it's mostly them like licensing out their name. And even to that extent, I'm not sure that Wizards licenses out like the Magic the Gathering logo for like play mats, any sleeves that mention them by name. I can't really think of many products that even bother to put Magic the Gathering on it because I'm going to take a wild guess they probably have to pay Wizards to do that. I'm not 100% sure. I wouldn't be surprised either way if they just do it for free to, promote the game and let people make cheaper accessories, or if they take a cut because they're incredibly greedy. Either way, I do think on that front it's nice that Wizards has kept out of that whole market with like sleeves, dice, accessories, play mats, deck holders. That's all Ultra Pro, BCW, all them. If Wizards made them themselves, that would really suck. But I am very, very, very sure that if you find like a Magic the Gathering t-shirt, boom, that is licensed. They're giving a cut of that every single sale to Wizards. But besides the really cool dice and the fat packs, Wizards doesn't really make like dice or sleeves or anything really. They just make the cards. And a lot of you are thinking, well, that's good because people hate stupid products. I mean, how well do the gift boxes sell? How well do, honestly, even the fat pack / bundles sell? And the deck builders toolkits, those don't sell very well because everybody only cares about value and box EVs and masterpieces and, oh, I want that rare, and they don't care about dumb gimmicks and they spent enough money on the game. Okay, that's maybe you to an extent, but totally not the majority of the customers. I mean, there are more casual people that'll never show up to F&M than there are at F&M, trust me. So if people are just into the game Magic and play casually but aren't at all interested in the competitive scene, and by competitive I mean F&M, they could have a whole room full of Magic stuff, anything from posters to shirts to dice to figures to any of that. So there is a market for it if they were to do it. So the question is, why haven't they done it? And I do not really have an answer for that other than one little theory. Maybe they're thinking what I just said. Wizards has been caught so many times being just super tunnel visioned on competitive play, not just because they want it to be an esport, despite the fact that you literally do not need electricity to play the game. That's what the E stands for, by the way. They really look at things from a competitive scene. Like the ban example, or the example that I used in the banning video. They're like, oh, we don't need to ban anything because there's a third deck that looked kind of promising online and at the last, I don't know, GP or whatever the hell it was. Oh, great, because everybody cares about just the pro scene and not the casual players, the FNM players, and the other 99% of your customers. It is well over 99%, by the way. That is not an exaggeration. Like, maybe, 1,000 people show up to a pro tour to compete? I've heard it's even less. I mean, I've heard up to 3,000 at certain other places, but they have 20 million customers. You do the math, because I'm not going to. So if they're so obsessed with the competitive scene, and because, well, they're not wrong in assuming that people just net deck their butts off, but even that, I mean, how many people bother to go to FNM versus kitchen table or playing at their school or their friends or whatever? Or they're like a younger person who doesn't feel comfortable trying to verse incredibly experienced adults at FNM because they know they're just going to lose and they hate losing. Hey, some kids are immature like that. Honestly, I hate losing. I shouldn't be saying that. But even at your FNM, at your LGS, how many people actually net deck? I mean, at my old one, it was maybe 60%, if that. And at my new one, it's like 20%, maybe. So what's happening at the pro level? Oh, it trickles down to all the players, right? And hell no, it doesn't. I mean, it makes cards look popular, it makes the prices go up, and it has an influence on what everybody plays by either making them play it or making them not play it. But other than that, there are two completely different things. GPs are not FNM. FNM is not kitchen table. It just isn't. So if they did some basic research, and keep in mind, Hasbro is pretty smart. Okay, let's back that up for a second. Hasbro does their research. They bring in whole pools of kids to have them test out toys. Which one do you like better? What color do you like better? Do you like this show? Would you play with this? What do you like about that? I mean, every company does that. Like, I know Nerf is famous for doing that. They will bring in kids to test out their guns and see what they do and don't like about them. And they'll tweak the looks, they'll go back, they'll change a color, they'll add a red stripe to it, and then it'll hit the market. And ta-da, Nerf's on top. Oh, they also make a quality product that works and has a good reputation. Wizards, not quite. But Hasbro knows toys, okay? They themselves are on top of their industry for a damn good reason. So if they know how to do market research to their customers, what the hell happened to Wizards of the Coast? And I know they're kind of like an island and they just kind of operate themselves because everybody there's been there forever and there's no accountability and they just run the company the way they always have, which is poorly. But let's say they were to tomorrow just Hasbro it up, and Hasbro will take any toy line, anything, anywhere, and just go berserk with it. Like, I could start naming off brands that they own and operate, and you could think of all the things you've seen at Walmart related to that. Yeah, they go nuts with it. So why can't they just go to Wizards and say, why don't you sell miniatures? Why don't you throw them in the fat packs? I mean, you're throwing in custom dice and people lose their damn minds. You're throwing like a couple full art lands and some double-sided tokens. People lose their damn minds. Those are exciting to me because, you know, cards, I'm into them, singles, I get it. But I'd be almost as excited about just about anything else. So here's a golden example if you don't believe me. The fat packs from, I'm going to murder it if I try to guess, but some set that came out a while ago had like a spinning life counter. It was like a folded over cardboard thing with like a plastic wheel in it, and you would turn the wheel and it would have a life total on it. And I think it went to like 30 too, so that was kind of nice. It operated a little bit nicer than Spin Down. It was faster, and you couldn't, well, I suppose you could bump it hard enough to roll it, but not as much as a die. Those things are worth so much damn money on eBay. I mean, a fat pack with those in them is worth more just because they're in them. And you're talking a mint condition, never been used, sensitive, not very tough product. I mean, you can get some dollar bills for those things. I mean, I don't even remember what some of them sell for, but I had heard upwards of like 40. So it's a life counter. It's used in the game. It's a novel idea. Nobody had seen it. It was cool. It looked cool. People could have actual use for it. And it looked cool. Now I'm focusing on looked cool because people can count their life however they want. If they want the most efficient way to do it, pen and paper. But they wanted them because they have the artwork and they have the characters they like. And, oh, it's white and it's got Garruk on it. And I run a Garruk deck. I don't think he's white, actually. I think he's black mana now, but I don't remember. I think he was green. That is, believe it or not, before my time. But still, Garruk's on it, and I've got Garruk in my deck. Oh my gosh, matchy. I mean, people are into that stuff, and it's fun to get into that stuff. So as soon as they give like a blue swirly die or the clear dice from, what was that, Dragon's Tarkir, those things are like $9 on eBay right now, those dice. If you have them, those clear purple dice and the clear ones that look like a mucky puddle, those aren't quite as popular, but the other colors, every time they do a special limited edition kind of themed thing that matches, because now they're like in Amonkhet, they're mining some kind of blue mineral thing that kind of came up in the story. Like that's what the mummies are doing. Nobody really knows why or what the use of the aura is. I think they mentioned it had something to do with mana, but oh, now I get a dice that's like made out of it and it looks different and cooler than normal dice. Oh my god, those things are seriously $4.50 right now on eBay, and when they launched, they were about $8. So, if they want to make their product more attractive to the customers, which every single salesman and marketing person's ears should perk up when I say that, because, hello, give people a side reason to buy your product other than the cards. And I mean, let's just look at Amonkhet right now. If you gave people another reason to buy the fat packs, which this is a great example because it is true, blue die, special tokens that nobody's ever seen before, double-sided, very rare, and then the full art lands. 20 of the 80 lands in the land packs are full art. You just gave them 3 reasons to open your awful, terrible, worthless garbage product that's probably at about a 65-box EV right now. Guess what? Fat packs are selling out and all the stores around me are having to rebuy them because people just want the dice, the tokens, and the lands. So I would suggest, and I've said this in other videos, that Wizards rethink how they do the products, start redesigning some products, and let's be honest, they've done that. They've gotten rid of like the intro packs. They kept the welcome decks. They put them in the deck builders toolkits, which even those aren't that new. I think they got rid of the gift boxes completely. I think I had heard that. And then they were going to get rid of the dual decks, and then they just never did, I guess, unless this next one is the last one. I don't know. And then they brought out Planeswalker decks. They're 60 cards, fully legal, not half legal, like dual decks, which was a common complaint. And their MSRP is very low. They're also balanced, and you can buy them together or separate if you want to pretend like they're dual decks. Brilliant product. All around 10 out of 10 product. Okay, 9 out of 10 because Liliana gets her butt kicked by Gideon. So maybe they should keep that whole, we're going to rethink this, we're going to keep evolving our products thing and, just go further with it. So first and foremost, like I've said, put miniatures of the Planeswalkers that are relevant to the storyline in the fat packs. I'd say they can't possibly cost that much to produce, but actually I think, fully colored, either painted or color molded Planeswalkers that look pretty good are actually probably kind of expensive to make. But then again, moderate quality D&D miniatures can sell retail for $2 or $3 a piece. So that must mean they're, after shipping and resale markup and distributor margins, they're probably well under $1 to manufacture. So they wouldn't really be doing a whole lot. And I happen to know that it takes 2 weeks to make one foil card. So even just the pre-release packs probably cost more to make that one card with the special stamp on it and all that than it would to make a miniature. Plus, I want to use Chandra in D&D. Okay, that would be so cool. She could be like a fire mage. She is, so yeah. Oh, you want a warrior? Gideon. Oh, you want an elf sorceress? Nissa. I would love that. And then, you're helping market them by bringing them outside the game or having a collection, showing it off, showing it on your YouTube channel, showing it on your blog, showing it on Tumblr, showing it on Facebook. It's like, oh, who's that? What are those miniatures from? Oh, what game is that? Oh, I've heard of that. It's brilliant. They need to do this. Wizards, make miniatures. Now, what else could they make? I've mentioned the dumb gimme stuff that every movie does. Oh, look, t-shirts. Yay. Speaking of that, I do get excited about some t-shirts. I bet you know where this is going. Boom! Link in the description. Desolator t-shirts. You guys just take a look at them. They're pretty good. As a totally unbiased observer, I just think the table flip one is pretty damn funny. Pretty soon when I nail down the perfect phrase, just taking a dump all over NetDeckers, there's going to be a new one too. But in the meantime, check out teespring.com/ I don't know what the hell the link is. It's down in the description though. So should Wizards say, oh, we're making official Wizards of the Coast, official Magic the Gathering brand deck boxes and sleeves and this and that and that. No. In fact, I would be shocked if they haven't tried to do that in the past and then they got beat out by, Ultra Pro and BCW because they're just better at it. Honestly, it's weird to say, but they probably have higher volume because they can cover multiple TCGs. But I do believe that those Planeswalker-related deck boxes might have been a Wizards idea. I'm not sure. I don't even remember who the manufacturer on that was. So maybe they have been creeping into that, but I'd rather the Wizards level of stupidity stay away from the stuff I need, like sleeves and deck boxes. Like, I need that stuff. Do not screw with that. What they should be focusing on is instead of, oh, look, a market slice that we could grab, it's make our products more attractive, because that has worked for Pokemon. So number 2 is obviously the digital redemptions, that where, if you buy a booster, you get a code, you put it in online, boom, you get the same thing online. That would lose them so much money in MTGO. They are never going to do that unless it's in some other product like Duels of the Planeswalkers. If you're thinking, well, they just remade the same damn program, but they added a tutorial and made, like, sparks fly everywhere. No, actually, from what I've heard, you can only put 1 mythic in a deck, like 2 rare or something, and which cards you can open from a booster are limited and all that. So if they did digital redemptions and it worked on duels, it would not even touch MTGO because that's still super casual oriented. So should they license out their IP to Hollywood? Well, they've been in the talks forever on an MTG movie. The Warcraft one was a joke, but it made money. So, So that'll happen eventually, but does that make their products better and make me want to spend more money on their products? Well, unless you literally considered the movie to be their product, and they'd probably be taking less than a 5% cut on it, I don't think that's the right direction to go. I don't think they shouldn't do it. I just don't think that's what I would suggest to them. Should they make a breakfast cereal and release it to Walmart and Tesco, my British friends? I mean, a Lucky Charms clone where the marshmallows are planeswalkers, honestly, I'd probably buy it, but it still doesn't make their actual products any better. I like the idea of giant oversized cards, special edition cards, alternate artwork cards, which those are only in the dual decks, which does kind of make me want to buy them, but I hate to buy a pre-made deck that's perfectly balanced and intended for duels and rip it apart just because I want the alternate artwork. But I really want that alternate artwork, Mr. Nibbles, aka Nibbles of Frost, which actually I'm not 100% sure that was from a dual deck. I think it was from like an intro pack or something. I don't remember. It's confusing as hell, so at least they've cleared up what product does what and which ones exist by eliminating a lot of them. That actually was a positive move. But would I want special edition cards that you could pick up only from the Fat Pack, only from the gift box, only from whatever, that are like a Pokemon style foil method with like a gradient or a stamped texture in it? Yeah, I would. I'd love to play with those. And that's not everybody's cup of tea, but the fact that it exists means it's another product for people to buy, and it's a reason for people to buy a currently unpopular product like the gift box and the Deck Builder's Toolkit. Right now they're trying annoying shady methods, which is, oh, you want a Sphinx of Magosi? Well, you can either find it from, I don't know, like Conspiracy 1 or something. I don't even remember. It was in some really hard to get sets these days. Oh, or you can buy the Deck Builder's Toolkit because it has the welcome decks. Or you can send in somebody to try to get one for free from your local gaming store by pretending they want to learn how to play Magic, which is honestly how most people get their welcome deck rares. But those are legal and standard, but you can't buy them in any standard product. Thus, if you want them, you have to go get other products. You have to. And to an extent, the Planeswalker decks are the same way. I don't like that arm twisting tactic. It's shady, it's dirty, it's annoying, and I feel like they're just trying to get my money. Now, on the flip side, if I played the Pokemon TCG and I saw up on the shelf a clearly slightly premium priced product, but I was really into the giant card and the miniature, I'm buying it because of that. I don't have to buy it. I'm not obligated to buy it. My deck isn't going to be better if I buy it, but it's really cool. I like the game. I'm into it. I like the look of the miniature, and I want it. If they could generate that exact feeling with some other products in, their other MTG products, or come up with a new product, or just enhance their current products. I mean, it would be kind of hard to stuff a miniature into a box and then like the market would be just utterly flooded by the people who open booster boxes, like on the 100,000 scale. I think that would kind of devalue them a little bit, but I mean, they got the buy a box promo. that's WPN only, and that's only if you buy a box. That was smart. It's usually a pretty sought-after card. It's almost always alternate artwork. It's always foil. There you go. You gave people a reason to buy the box, and not just buy the box, but buy it locally at a WPN location, not from an online source. So you might even be paying $10 more, but you're thinking, well, I get the buy a box promo, and honestly, it's sometimes worth $10. Either that or it's just a super, super low print run card that might be worth a fortune in the future. So that alone, people are excited. So it's value added. I hate stupid corporate buzzwords, but value added. And the Pokemon TCG and their Mega Gyarados boxes, that's value added right there. You can sell people 4 packs for about $20 as long as you value add the crap out of the product. And people constantly say, don't buy them, they're terrible value. And people say that about bundles. They say that about the Deck Builder's Toolkit. Well, first of all, they're wrong. I made a whole video about that. But then secondly, guess what? It's not a bad value if you look at it and you're like, I want that Pikachu miniature. Well, I guess it's a good value now because you want that product. I mean, not everybody's solely obsessed with card prices, card value, EV, and that's it in return. Otherwise, they would not even have fat packs. They wouldn't exist. So besides the, really bad examples I gave and the existing ones like the Pokemon products, what do you think that Wizards could do to improve their products and make people want to buy them more by adding a collectible aspect to it? And as soon as I say that, the first thing that comes to mind is masterpieces. I mean, let's not even mention that one because that's a touchy subject to some people who are stupid and don't understand how they work. You don't need to buy them, and you also might open them. So it doesn't really affect you negatively in any way. So the fact that you're mad that they're a thing pretty much just means you want them and you feel entitled to them, but you're not willing to pay for them. Well, guess what? It's a collector's premium and you don't need them. Buy the regular version if you want to play the game. So yes, obviously Wizards is moving that direction because masterpieces. Okay, people will, they'll up the box EV by about 15%. Masterpieces are almost universally 15% of the total value of a set now. People will buy more because of it. They'll open boxes blind and boosters blind in case they get one, and it ups sales. So apparently even they're getting behind this approach to an extent, and like I said, the blue dice, I mean, there you go. They try to do something special every release, so that's not that innovative. But I'm curious for you people who know other games better than me and can rip off their ideas just as well, other than just Pokemon. What would be something they could do to any of their existing products that would make you personally want to buy them more? And I know the example I always give is put something edible inside of a fat pack. You already took away the name fat. Can we all just assume that you're calling it a bundle because now it has food and you didn't want the association to be insulting? But then again, I mean, an expiration date because now it's food, that's a whole legal thing. I don't even want to touch that. Neither do they, trust me. So other than food, miniatures, large cards, alternate art, and, masterpieces, what else could they do to make the game more buyable at the individual product level? I'm very curious to see what you guys come up with in the comment section, so make sure you leave a comment if you've got a great idea. And I will see you guys next video.